break free from the diet prison and embrace a life of balanced wellness with us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Why Don't You Lose Weight Permanently with a Diet? I'm your host, Claziana Wertz, and I'm thrilled to start this journey with all of you. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with someone whose expertise in fitness is unparalleled. Please welcome Elira Stone. Welcome, Elira.
Thank you so much for having me, Claziana. I'm really excited to be here and to dive into such an important topic with you.
Absolutely, it's great to have you. Let's jump right in. So, we're here to talk about why traditional diets so often don't lead to lasting weight loss. It seems like everyone's on a diet at some point in their lives, yet we see this pattern of losing weight and then gaining it right back. From your perspective, Elira, why do you think that happens?
It's such a common issue, isn't it? I believe a lot of it comes down to the mindset that's fostered by diets. They're often pitched as quick fix solutions. But real, sustainable weight loss isn't about that. It's more about creating long-term habits that are beneficial for your health. Diets tend to be restrictive, and that can lead to a cycle of deprivation and overeating. It's like, the moment you label something as forbidden, you want it even more.
Yes, exactly. I've seen this with so many of my clients. They restrict themselves until they can't anymore, and then there's a sort of backlash where they revert back to old habits, often feeling guilty about it. And guilt can be such a destructive emotion when it comes to weight loss, don't you think?
Absolutely. Guilt and shame don't motivate positive change. They often trap you in a negative cycle. A more effective approach is to focus on balance and mindfulness. It's important to understand the cues your body is sending you. Are you eating because you're hungry? Or are you doing it out of boredom or stress?
That's such a great point. I've been encouraging people to practice intuitive eating. It's all about listening to your body's needs rather than imposing strict rules. Can you tell us a little more about intuitive eating and how it can help break the cycle of dieting?
Certainly. Intuitive eating is about making peace with food. It's knowing that it's okay to eat when you're hungry and to stop when you're full. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Unlike diets that tell you what and when to eat, intuitive eating honors your personal experience and preferences. It's about being in tune with your hunger signals and recognizing the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger.
I love that approach because it emphasizes respect for your own body. It removes the fear associated with eating certain foods. Would you say that a lot of the fear around dieting is due to a focus on avoiding bad foods?
Very much so. The categorization of foods into good and bad is problematic. It equates eating to morality, which is misleading and harmful. There isn't inherently bad food. Context and frequency are key. For instance, enjoying a piece of cake at a celebration is a part of life, not a dietary sin.
So true. Let's touch on one of the big elephants in the room: exercise. There's often this perception that exercise is only about burning calories. But I know, and I'm sure you'll agree, that exercise can be an incredible way to enhance well-being beyond just losing weight.
Absolutely. Exercise should be seen as something that benefits your body and mind, not just a vehicle for calorie expenditure. When you find a form of movement you enjoy, it becomes something to look forward to rather than a chore. It can be a great stress reliever, a way to boost your mood and improve your overall health.
That's a great way to put it. I often tell my clients, if you're not enjoying your workout, it's time to explore other options. There are so many ways to move, and it doesn't have to be in a gym. Dance, hike, bike, swim, whatever excites you. This ties back into creating sustainable habits. What sustainable tips would you share with our listeners who wish to shift away from dieting?
I'd say start small and build from there. If you're looking to make changes, focus on integrating one new habit at a time. This could be as simple as adding a serving of vegetables to your dinner or going for a daily walk. The key is to be consistent. These small steps compound over time to create a larger impact.
Absolutely, and consistency beats intensity every time in the long run. People often underestimate the power of those small steps because they're waiting for grand transformations. But, like you said, it's what leads to lasting change. I'm intrigued to learn more about your approach to helping others find their fitness routines. Do you have any particular success stories that stand out?
Sure, there are many to choose from. But one that stands out involves a client who struggled with sticking to a rigid gym routine. We shifted the focus to activities she enjoyed more, like swimming and cycling, and it made all the difference. She not only became more active but also started to look forward to her sessions because they became a highlight of her day rather than a task.
What a wonderful transformation! It's a great example of the power of aligning your choices with what you truly enjoy. People often don't realize that finding joy in these activities is part of what makes any health goal sustainable.
Absolutely. And joy can be a much stronger motivator than obligation. When you start discovering the joyful aspects of health and fitness, it's astonishing how much more you achieve.
Thank you, Elira, for sharing these insights. Any final tips or encouragement you'd like to offer our listeners before we wrap up?
I'd say to everyone, be kind to yourself. The journey to a healthier lifestyle is personal, and it's okay if it doesn't happen overnight. Celebrate the small victories along the way, and remember, progress is not linear. There will be ups and downs, and that's perfectly normal.
Such important reminders, Elira. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your incredible expertise. I'm sure our listeners have found a lot of encouragement and practical advice in your words.
Thank you, Claziana. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and I hope our discussion today helps listeners feel inspired to approach their health with a more compassionate perspective.
I'm sure it will. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Why Don't You Lose Weight Permanently with a Diet? Stay tuned for more insightful discussions in future episodes. Until next time, keep embracing those small steps towards healthier living. Goodbye!
Thank you for tuning in, and remember, every day is a fresh opportunity to invest in yourself. See you in the next episode.